Today we're covering 8th grade, Chapter 4, Lesson 2, Relations. No, it has nothing to do with boyfriends or girlfriends. We're going to complete the graphic organizer of the coordinate plane below. So this point here in the middle is called the origin, which means beginning, the 0, 0 point. This line that goes horizontal is called the x-axis. And the line that goes vertical is called the y-axis. And these axes divided into 4 quadrants. And it goes counterclockwise, and we use Roman numerals to label them. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. This is quadrant 3. And this one is 4. And then we have coordinates on the grid. The first number is always the x. What number is on this line goes first, kind of like alphabetical order, x first. So if I'm naming this little dot they got on there, that would be -4. And then the y coordinate goes next. So I went up 3. It's -4, 3. And there's a comma in between and parentheses on both sides. A relation is any set of ordered pairs. The domain is the set of x coordinates. That would be the first number. And the range is the set of y coordinates. Let's look at example 1. Represent the relation -5, 2, 3, -1, 6, 2, 1, 7 as a table and a graph. Then determine the domain and range. So first I'm just going to put them in this little table over here. It's not a trick. The first number is the x. The second number is the y. And I'm putting them in the table together. Then we're going to put them on the graph. So the first number tells me how far left or right. I'm going to go to the left, -5. Well, this is counting by 2s, so -5 is going to be just a little past -4. And then we're going to go up 2 and put a dot. The next one, we're going to go to the right, 3, and down to -1. The next one, over 6, over to the right 6, up 2. And the last one, we're going to the right 1 and up 7. Didn't really make a pattern, just dots on a graph. Then we're going to write them in domain and range. So the D stands for domain, and they've already written the D for you. And then there's a colon, and then you have to put brackets. Brackets kind of look like someone with strange lips. And when we list the domain, which is the x, we have to list them in order from least to greatest. So look at the domain. The smallest number is -5, so that goes first. The next smallest would be 1, and then the 3, and then the 6, and then we close it with brackets. And that one kind of looks messed up. Then we're going to write the range. And again, you have to put an R and a colon and then the brackets and list them from least to greatest. So they're not going to actually match up. The smallest in the range is -1. And then the next number is a 2, but there's actually 2 2s. We're not listing but one of them. And then the 7. So if there is a duplicate number, don't list it but once. Example 2. It costs $3 per hour to park at the Wildwood Amusement Park. Make a table of ordered pairs and a graph. The x-coordinates represent the hours. So $3 per hour, that means 3 times hours. And it says the x-coordinate is going to be the hours. So if I had 1 hour, that would cost $3. If I had 3 hours, that would cost $9. Every time I'm just multiplying by 3. If I had 6 hours, that would be 18. And 7 hours would be 21. And my graph only goes up to 7. Now I'm going to put those numbers in the graph. So I'm going to go over 1 and up to 3 and put a dot. Then I'm going to go to the right 3 and up to 9 and put a dot. To the right 6 and up to 18. And then to the right 7 and up to 21 and put a dot. And I notice that makes a line. Remember, that's called linear, a linear function. And just so we get a chance to practice, let's go ahead and write the domain. The domain would be all those x in order. So that would be 1, 3, 6, and 7. And then the range, 3, 9, 18, and 21. Wonder Woman is here to help you remember domain and range. Domain, like Wonder Woman here, domain, she is dominant. She runs the show. She's dominant. And she makes an X when she is showing everybody who's boss. An X. Domain is the X. Let's look at the independent practice that you're supposed to be doing today. It says you're supposed to represent the relation as a table and a graph, then determine the domain and range. So you're going to take these numbers and put them in this chart and then put them on this graph. And don't forget to also write them as domain and as range. So let's do this first one and write it as domain. Domain is the X, that's the first number, and you have to put it in order from least to greatest. So the least X would be -3, and then -1, and then 2, and then 4, and then close the brackets. For range, the smallest is -4, and then 0, and then 1, and the last one is 4. So don't forget to write domain and range, and you need to make sure to write a capital letter D, colon, and then the brackets. And the numbers have to be in order from least to greatest. And that's what you're going to do on all three of those.